After weeks of heavy fighting, Ukraine's defense minister says his forces are making progress, regaining more than 14 square miles of territory in the south and east of the country. Ukrainian officials also claim to have taken the strategic initiative near the city of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. But in a video address to his nation, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said his country's air defenses are not yet sufficient enough to protect itself against Russian attacks. He's reiterated calls for help from the West. And that request will be at the top of the agenda for the EU leaders' meeting in Brussels this week, with the financial cost of rebuilding climbing each day. Right, so we expect EU leaders to meet in Brussels later this week. Remember, there have been a lot of meetings that have happened in the past of the EU leaders in Brussels as well. The Russia-Ukraine war, for one, has been on the agenda, and besides that, right, Trent Murray reports on this particular upcoming meeting.
Even as the bombs continue to fall across Ukraine, the focus on rebuilding has already begun. While the scars of the ongoing war still tarnish their cities and towns, Ukrainians remain defiant on restoring what's been lost and bouncing back stronger than before. The World Bank estimates it will take over $400 billion to reconstruct following Russia's invasion. And already, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is trying to rally global governments and investors to help with the effort.
When we are talking about recovery, we are talking about millions of jobs, billions in corporate profits and trillions of GDPs, and not only for Ukraine, but for all our countries.
The war has hammered the country's economy. The EU says its GDP could fall further the longer the conflict rages on. But Brussels is trying to help the country's economy function, recently facilitating a grain corridor deal to circumvent Russia's Black Sea blockade, and also providing finance and access to capital, promising to support Kyiv for the long term.
Ukraine has stunned us with their bravery. They have inspired us with their ingenuity. And they have awed us with the way they are transforming their country in pursuit of their dream. And dear friends, it is this dream of a cleaner, greener, more modern Ukraine that will be the lasting legacy of this atrocious war.
With each day that the war goes on, the price tag continues to go up. Keenly aware of the corruption concerns which have long hung over Ukraine's political class, President Zelenskyy has sought to stress that all foreign funds will be spent correctly. At the recent reconstruction conference in London, he told investors much progress has been made in his attempts to purge oligarchs who steal from state coffers.
Financial transparency and banking system resilience, market liberalization and competition stimulation, guaranteeing equal and legal conditions for every economic entity are all areas in which we made progress before February 24th, and of course, which are important, very important now.
Before the war, Russia was the world's 11th largest economy, and while high gas and oil prices have helped cushion the financial cost of the expensive conflict, many economists say widespread sanctions from the West are beginning to bite. EU leaders are currently considering a fresh package of sanctions which could target Rosatom, Russia's state nuclear energy agency.
I will not be tired to repeat that Rosatom should be punished, because this is just unacceptable what they are doing, how they are behaving, threatening all the Europe with the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
The cost of the war, first and foremost, can be measured in the lives lost, but the economic impact is also being measured, not just in Kyiv, but across the continent, with the lasting impact likely to reverberate right across the region. Trent Murray in Berlin, reporting for DD India.